So what we learned yesterday, we need to apply today. And what we learned doing the early work with Apple, we've applied in different ways. And what we learned before Apple, we've applied to Apple. That continuous learning kind of thing allows us to recognize when there's priorities, changes in values, when the markets change. The strategy we've used in doing work in China. So, for example, we introduced the Lincoln brand into China. The idea of introducing them meant that the kind of value system we were communicating there had to fit within the competitive context of other automobile sales that were going on. And so if we have a rubber stamp to use, we die. It has to be that designers are one of the best opportunities in society to have people who know how to deal with change. And so the notion of change is at the heart of what design is about. Unfortunately, it's one of the most difficult things that we as human beings go through, whether it's a death in the family, a divorce, or any kind of trauma, a birth. It can be positive things as well. But any change in your life is what you remember, and it tends to be the thing that has the most challenge to you emotionally. If you're a designer, however, you're taught that all design is change. There's no point in doing design to keep everything the same. So that means that everything you're doing in design is always about changing something. So you have
from the last project to the current project.
Correct. And as a designer, you should always be getting better. I hope,
there's no one prototype for each, for everybody. As in
That's
the
right.
Cultural context makes, like for example, if there's an Apple store in India, how would that be?
Well, so for Apple, it's an extension of those brand values and those systems. But I think you don't approach every problem the same way. And, the key is, I guess, when you think about the role of design in society, you're not there to just have commercial success. So we always talk about designing for human outcomes that lead to business outcomes. Yes. If we focus on the transaction, we can, but that's not where the most value is created. The most value that's created is through the companies who are able to define some product or service that makes an impact on your life. If it makes an impact the way the iPhone made an impact,
yes.
People are running around holding iPhones today. It's because that as a solution was a human-centric solution, not a tech-centric solution.
So even the design has to be of that approach.
Correct. Yeah. And I think really any design, it has to be human-focused. If it's a tech improvement, that's fine, but it's a really low-value kind of thing. You can go back to many examples in history, but a technical improvement is not really innovation. Innovation happens when people adopt and the thing that they're adopting has an impact on their lives. When that happens, incredible value creation, right? If you look at the most human-centric design that Google has ever done, it's a rectangle.
Yes.
The idea that you could take anything you want to think about and put it in that rectangle and find it, phenomenal. It's the only thing that makes money for them today, and it's the most human-centric thing they've ever done. So you can talk all you want about the back-end technology. That's just to deliver the experience. So if we focus on the experience, make something that matters. We had search engines before Google. Why is Google where it is today? And it's because that the human-centric solution changed it from a technical capability to an experience.